Good evening and welcome back to 31 Horror Nights. It's October 27th and tonight's movie is Berberian Sound Studio. I'm pretty sure this movie has come up a few times when looking for movies to watch for horror nights, and this year I decided to actually pull the trigger. As far as I can tell, this movie is about an award-winning sound designer, like a professional Foley guy, is that the name for it? Who is hired to be the sound guy for this new movie. I think it's going to be a horror movie, but the director gets really mad when he describes it as a horror movie. He's like, no, don't ever call it a horror movie. And I don't know because the trailer was pretty vague, but I'm going to guess that this is sort of like the audio version of that old movie Peeping Tom. Peeping Tom was a movie about a man who wanted the picture of the ultimate face of fear, and he decided that the best way to do that was to literally photograph a woman while he is murdering her. And during the trailer, they kept showing this lady screaming into a microphone and apparently not being good enough. So maybe it's the only way to get the scream I want is to kill her. They show chopping into watermelons and I think a head of lettuce in order to get gore sounds. The only movie I can think of that this kind of reminds me of is Censor. But then again, I saw that this was taking place in a 1970s Italian studio, so maybe this is more of a giallo type of thing. I have seen two giallo movies for horror nights, the original Suspiria and Deep Red, both of which were by Dario Argento. But then again, the critic quotes that they kept showing in the trailer were comparing it to David Lynch. This movie is a wild card. I have no idea what to expect from it. I'll be right back. I'm not going to be dividing this review, and this review is not going to take long. Berberian Sound Studios is one of those movies that just nothing happens. It is so boring. I'm giving it a 3 out of 10. It's not actively offensive, but it gave me nothing. Really quick, I should explain what a giallo movie is. That's a blanket term for those slasher films created in Italy in the 60s and 70s. From what I remember, based on the ones I've seen, there's usually eroticism, a lot of bright colors, a lot of blood and violence. Probably the most famous when it comes to crossover appeal giallo movie is Deep Red, but I think a lot more well known is Suspiria, the original one, which is definitely giallo adjacent. I bring this up because this movie is definitely a tribute to that style and the way that it's put together. But the problem is, it's just a very boring movie to me. It makes one man losing his touch with reality seem so, banal. There was a point, and I think it was when the third act started, where it suddenly shifted to this becoming a giallo movie, completely, to the point where even the main character was speaking Italian. But it's a lot like Censor, where, the descent into madness kind of just seems to come out of nowhere. You don't really see any particular reason for it. I feel like this movie wants to be a Eraserhead, but it's not even weird enough to be Eraserhead. That movie had some really memorable moments, some things that stick with you. This one, not so much. It is at least short, I'll give it that. It doesn't overstay its welcome, so it is a step above Under the Skin, but it's really not that interesting to me. And I think that's one way in which this movie does fail to capture the giallo essence, because I remember seeing stuff like Deep Red or Suspiria. Those movies were not boring. I'm sure other people were able to garner this deep, psychologically profound story about whatever from this. I didn't get much from this movie, and I don't really have much more to say about it. Thank you for listening. I'll see you tomorrow.